What's going on, everyone? It's Bluff here, and you know what's more American than America's 250th birthday? Supporting American-owned companies like SpinQuest, America's #1 social casino with over 1,000 games like live dealer blackjack and craps. They're offering new users a $30 coin package for just $10. Go to spinquest.com and sign up today.
SpinQuest is a free-to-play social casino. Void where prohibited. Visit spinquest.com for more details.
All new drinks are now at McDonald's. Like the strawberry watermelon refresher, the mango pineapple refresher with popping boba, and the Sprite berry blast topped with cold foam. Who knew ice cold drinks could be so fire?
The sun's out, and so is our new drink lineup. From the Blackberry Passion Fruit Refresher to the Dirty Dr. Pepper. And they all pair perfectly with some fries. Refreshers contain caffeine. Va-da-ba-ba-ba.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Hello, I'm Ania Lichtarowicz, and this is Somewhere on Earth, your weekly look at how tech is impacting our everyday lives. Today we have guests in Zambia and Nigeria. It's Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026. Welcome to the Global Tech Podcast. Coming up today, a major global tech and human rights summit, years in the making, suddenly called off just days before it was due to begin. Thousands had planned to travel to Zambia for RightsCon 2026. So what led to the last-minute cancellation, and what does it mean for one of the most important gatherings in the digital rights calendar? Also on the programme, breaking into African markets isn't always straightforward. Setting up a company, navigating regulation, moving money, it can slow even the most ambitious startups. We look at a new platform aiming to cut through that complexity, starting in Nigeria and looking across the continent. Stay with us. This is Somewhere on Earth. Thousands of delegates from more than 150 countries were set to gather in Lusaka, Zambia for RightsCon 2026, one of the world's most important summits on digital rights and technology. But just days before the event, the Zambian government abruptly cancelled it, leaving activists, researchers and organisations scrambling after months of planning. So what happened behind the scenes? What does this mean for the global digital rights community? And how do you rebuild when a cornerstone event disappears overnight? Nikki Gladstone, director of RightsCon at Access Now, spoke to me from Lusaka.
So RightsCon is the world's leading summit on human rights in the digital age. It's been hosted by Access Now since 2011, and it started as the Silicon Valley Human Rights Conference. And the goal of the conference was to bring the human rights agenda to the tech sector. We've been running it, this would have been the 14th edition, and we bring together human rights activists, technologists, businesses, governments, media, with the goal of building a rights-respecting digital future.
And RightsCon was meant to be happening in Lusaka right now, but it's not. Tell me what has happened.
Right, so we started planning for RightsCon in Zambia in 2024. We made a commitment to our community in 2023 that we would return to Africa after having last hosted in 2019 in Tunisia. And we visited in 2024. We felt really hopeful about the possibility of having RightsCon in Zambia. It felt like a really good place to host for us, and we look at a lot of different criteria to decide where to host. We signed an MOU with the government, with our main partner, the Ministry of Technology and Science, and everything was going well. We did multiple site visits. We've been in touch with them online. All of the required steps that we've learned over more than a decade of hosting, we did. to make sure that the event was successful. An event of this size requires government buy-in. There's not a possibility for us to do it without government buy-in. And last Monday, April 27th, when I was flying from South Africa to Zambia to start prep for RightsCon, I received a call from the Ministry of Technology and Science letting us know that there were some concerns around Taiwanese participants coming to RightsCon, and that concern was putting pressure from the Chinese government on the Zambian government. And starting from there, everything started to unravel.
Unravel to the point that the event is not actually happening, is it?
Yeah, so we, as we do in these situations, we sort of step immediately into action. We asked questions. I landed in Zambia, and we started to hear some rumors about participants coming through and hearing from immigration officers that the event was going to be canceled or had been canceled. And that was the first real outside rumor that we heard, and it immediately put us on response. We tried to get in touch with our government contacts. We tried to understand where these rumors could be coming from. Even some of our contacts in other departments of other ministries hadn't heard these rumors and didn't believe them to be true. But we weren't able to get in touch with our government contacts. And it was actually through the media that we found out that RightsCon was postponed.
Am I rightly remembering last year RightsCon was in Taiwan?
It was, yes.
So it shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone that there would be a delegation coming from Taiwan. So why suddenly the change? Is it just recent pressure that the Zambian government was experiencing, none before?
Yeah, we've had participation from the Taiwanese civil society for years. They've been members of our community, and their participation isn't, something that we hide or are silent about. We had a really open relationship with the government and strong communication lines. And so we were sharing information about participants that were coming, the diversity of the topics, the scope of the conference. And so for us, we don't really understand what could have happened at the last minute that changed other than external pressure.
There are some delegates from organisations that are already in Lusaka. Some haven't flown. But this is, for some of these groups, quite a big expense to get a team out to another country, another continent. What are these people saying? What impact is it going to have on them and their organisations?
Yeah, the response has been overwhelming. For many people, RightsCon is an opportunity that they invest in. So there are financial costs associated with meeting us at RightsCon wherever we've decided to host it. They pay for flights, accommodations, and there's also an opportunity cost here that is lost. For many of them, this is an opportunity to show their work, showcase what they've been doing, meet with funders, meet with each other, move forward coalition building. So what we're hearing from our global community is shock and devastation and grieving. And for some of these organizations, they're small and the impact on their budget is existential. And so to cancel an event of this size a week before it's meant to happen, there's no opportunity for us to try to recover some of that impact. And so it's even more devastating as a result.
And you've been supporting them, you've been advising them, because for some, they would have made connections, they would have got future funding. It really is the place to be for these types of conversations if you are in the digital rights sector, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we're trying to connect with folks that might be here and support them in whatever way we can. We don't have an exact understanding of how many people might be here in Zambia. We know that, at least from our knowledge, no one's had issues entering Zambia, which is good. And we're sort of thinking through what comes next for our community. What we have heard is that it's really important for us to have these spaces, that they are continuously and increasingly under threat. And when we sent out our statement, we said, what does the community want from us next? And so we put out a survey immediately, asking them to tell us, how do we replace this? How do we move on from this?
Can you tell me anything about those survey results, or is it too early yet?
It's still early. I will say it is maybe our survey that has had the most responses in the history of RightsCon. Folks have opinions and they're sharing them, and they have ideas and they're sharing them. Right now we're seeing people want to meet. They want to find space, whether it's informal or it's, all of us coming together. There is a absence of this convening, and it's being felt really deeply by the whole community. And so for us, as long as the community wants us to move forward and try to find a path, we'll work with them to do so.
And can you give me an idea of the topics you are going to discuss? Because I could see it certainly on my socials, another panel, some remote, some a mixture, some in person. And the variety of issues that are out there when it comes to digital rights is so diverse.
Our program is community sourced, so we do a call for proposals, and that means that anyone who comes to RightsCon, whether it's a civil society representative from Taiwan or it's a company representative or even a government representative, they can propose sessions. And each year we host around 500 sessions that happen in person, online, and hybrid across 18 program categories. And we've really seen over the last couple of years with RightsCon just how technology is touching every aspect of our lives. So while initially our program was very sort of traditionally digital rights focused, what we're seeing now is the intersection of technology with conflict and warfare. We're seeing the intersection of technology with environment and land defenders. So there's really every topic you can imagine on the RightsCon agenda. Artificial intelligence was, of course, going to be a big one this year. How technology is being used in warfare was going to be a big one. So there were a lot of topics that for many people in our community aren't abstract concepts. They're the reality they're living every day. And so coming to RightsCon and being able to speak with people in positions of power about what's happening is critical.
That was Nikki Gladstone, Director of RightsCon at Access Now, who is still in Zambia when we spoke. Nikki will also be in the Pod Extra version of this show. Yes, the one without the adverts at the beginning, the middle, and the end. It costs $10 a month to get ad-free soap and lots more of it. Please search pod.fan, Somewhere on Earth Podcasts, go to the page and subscribe.
Hey everybody, Lady Luck here, and we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. Now all summer long, I'm going to be celebrating by playing on SpinQuest.com, which is an American-owned social casino. It obviously features over 1,000 slot games and live blackjack, live craps, live bubble craps. Head on over to SpinQuest.com, get yourself a $30 coin pack for just $10.
SpinQuest is a free-to-play social casino. Void where prohibited. Visit SpinQuest.com for more details.
Expanding a business into a new market is never simple. And when that market is across a continent as diverse and complex as Africa, the challenges can multiply fast. From company registration and regulation to banking, taxes, and finding the right local partners, it can be a daunting process, especially for startups looking to scale quickly. But what if there was a way to streamline all of that? A platform called Itana is aiming to do just that, offering businesses a kind of one-stop digital gateway to set up and operate in Nigeria and potentially use it as a springboard into the wider African market. So how does it work in practice, and can it really simplify expansion into one of the world's fastest growing regions? I spoke with Victor Famubode, head of business at Itana, to find out more.
A new company coming into Nigeria, one of the key things they're actually looking out for is how everything is sort of fragmented, from the point of incorporation to the point of operations or even carrying out your post-sales activities. And every company is thinking, how do I go about this? So for Itana, the major thing we're trying to solve for is saying, hey, you're looking at the new market to scale. We would be that one-stop shop administrative center that enables you to set up your company so you don't have to worry about having to deal with the regulator. We do that on your behalf. You set up your company and then you continue to operate as a business in the Nigerian market. So We enable that through our platform. And the good thing is we also recognize the compliance layer that comes with doing business. Because from a lot of businesses, they are always constantly concerned in how do I do taxes? How do I repatriate my capital? How do I open a bank account? How do I bring in possible, partners or investors into the country that can stay for, let's say, a year or more? And just basic, doing business opportunities. What are in it for me? So we try to seamlessly coordinate all of this through the platform, and then ensure that you are able to get full access based on each of these areas and the services that come within, and ensure that you can get the best value for money. So you don't have to worry from the get-go while you're setting up shop in Itana.
So basically, you've got a website, and if I wanted to take my business and launch it in Nigeria, then I would go there, I'd register, I put in all my details, and you would guide me through everything, or would you do it all? How does it work? How does the technology work?
Yeah, the technology is very simple and secure. You go through the app, you sign up, you fill in key information about the business, what the business is about, key information like the directors, the shareholders, just necessary incorporation information, right, that you would need in almost every jurisdiction. So it's similar here. But what we've done is to enable that through the platform. And the extra advantage is that you are then operating within a special economic zone, or favorably what you call a free zone in Nigeria, which has been in existence as a scheme for over 30 years. So it's not new. It's just that you've now been given a free zone status, which means you can enjoy certain kinds of benefits that then enables you to stay, agile, and basically stay ahead in terms of trying to, as much as possible, bring in more capital investments that can, create the right opportunities for you. So that's basically how this, works, and it's very straightforward in terms of the ability to navigate through the application.
But you want to go further than this, because at the moment, you're a foreign tech startup, and you think, right, I want to get into Africa, I'm going to go through Nigeria. It has many benefits. The language, culture as well is perhaps slightly more aligned to Western culture. That's why a lot of people pick it. But you want to go further than just Nigeria. You want to see Nigeria as a launch pad. So you establish yourself in Nigeria as a tech startup through Itana, but then you can kind of launch yourself further out. How can Itana help you expand across the continent?
The good thing is, one of the things that we're always constantly known for is the ability for companies to come in and even use Itana as a point to scale. And how we do that is we leverage different partners, especially when it comes to areas around market entry and market expansion, partners that are skilled, well vetted, that understand those sort of jurisdiction, and that we're happy to enable that. The second angle is the AfCFTA, that's the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement, which is already in implementation. I would say that's a very good policy initiative for the continent, and where we have a very good relationship with, for instance, the secretariat that enables that. So we're always happy to do all of this sort of groundwork for you as a company, especially when you come into Nigeria and then you're looking at expanding into other African markets. The other angle is through our thriving community, you get to access different kinds of companies that are also, some of them, they are multi-jurisdictional. So it's not just Nigeria, they have their businesses set up, they have it in other markets. So they would also provide sort of guidance in markets that you're sort of complementary towards, and they can assist, support. And that's where the community also plays a critical role to ensure that we can have that diversity of founders and even different kinds of operators that can enable that. And we're working on more layers that can enable scale, right, for a lot of these companies. when it comes to tech founders.
That's Victor Famubode from Itana on building a digital gateway for businesses looking to expand into Africa and why Nigeria could be just the beginning. Please leave us a rating on your favourite podcasting platform. We really need to reach a minimum of 20 ratings on the major platforms for us to jump to the next level in their algorithms and have the show picked up for promotion. So if you've not done so yet, please do. John Cito, thank you for your comments on Facebook. If you've not joined our community on there, please do. There's lots of tech talk on there, not only what we have on the show. John writes about his experiences of driverless cabs. He's taken one. Yes, I did, he says, 2 weeks ago in Foshan, China. I didn't feel unsafe at all. He's even posted some videos if you'd like a look. And Jimmy Gibson emailed us saying, your latest episode on how musicians are integrating with AI, both in their creative and practical work, was fantastic. I especially appreciated how you spotlighted the balance artists are striking between using AI for innovation while holding tight to the importance of human emotion. Hearing about Migam's work with sign language accessibility really drove home just how deeply tech can transform lives, far beyond the headlines. And also a shout out to Kunle Eremu, who left a comment on Spreaker, our podcasting platform. Thanks for the beautiful episode. Love heart eyes, big grin emoji. This was for one of our episodes from over a year ago. WhatsApp English lessons, EdTech in Cabo Verde, and the Cartier Women's Initiative supporting women in tech, science and business. And we'll be hearing more about some of the winners who are now being supported by the Cartier Women's Initiative over the coming weeks. Our first story on that comes from Colombia. So to remind you, you can contact us via email hello@somewhereonearth.co or through our socials. We're pretty much everywhere but X. Search for Soap Tech or Somewhere on Earth podcast and you should be able to find us. That's all for this week. The production manager is Liz Tuohy and I'm the editor. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, Lady Luck here, and we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. Now all summer long, I'm going to be celebrating by playing on SpinQuest.com, which is an American-owned social casino. It obviously features over 1,000 slot games and live blackjack, live craps, live bubble craps. Head on over to SpinQuest.com, get yourself a $30 coin pack for just $10.
SpinQuest is a free-to-play social casino. Void where prohibited. Visit SpinQuest.com for more details.